AtGames, Unico delays, new wave backlash, and can the Capcom Deluxe actually rescue Arcade1up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcades. Episode 132 is underway. 131 episodes in the books. Got some crazy stuff, some exciting stuff to talk about tonight, some new news for the channel. But before we get started, we got to talk about what's in the glass. What's in the glass tonight is Maker's Mark French Oak. This is probably going to be, I'm going to go ahead and say it, my favorite Maker's Mark. No surprise if you're a fan of the channel. This is my go-to. It's affordable. It's delicious. It's refreshing. It's got alcohol in it, which is always good. Speaking of what's got alcohol in it, it's got to be the drinks of, everybody, that was rooting for anybody but Kansas City. Turns out Kansas City, once again, defies all odds. Baltimore just couldn't get it done. They all have alcohol in their glasses right now because they really shot themselves in the foot. Baltimore, I think, was probably the better team on paper. If you sized it up, I think they're obviously ranked higher. It was a home game for them. They just shot themselves in the foot twice in the end zone. They had victory in their hands. They gave it up. So KC is going to the Super Bowl. Looks like, if Detroit can keep it together and not self-destruct, looks like they're going to go too. It's 21-7 right now. It's not quite halftime just yet, but damn, they look good. Detroit love, Carl. I salute you. Let's take a drink and cheer on your Lions because, it's always nice to see the 49ers lose. So cheers to you. It will be an exciting time. I know Detroit, the city, is going crazy because of just the fact that they haven't been anywhere significantly. Well, I think it was the last NFC championship game or last championship game they were in was in 1957, or the last playoff game they won was in 1957. I'm not exactly sure what was going on, but they did a whole montage of the year 1957 and what was going on at that time. So that's pretty funny. So we talk about what's going on the footballs. It is wrapping up for sure. It's going to be bittersweet to see it all go. Excited for the Super Bowl, but definitely, it's just my team has been out of it for a while. So my pain, my struggle if you're a fan of this channel. So we talked about the glass. We got to talk about something else besides what's in the glass, but it's the poll. That's right. Every week we have a poll question. This week is no different. If you go in the chat, you'll see at the top of the screen, click on it. There you go. And it's a simple question this week. Can Arcade1up be rescued? Some of us have written off Arcade1up, and in some ways I have too, but there is a glimmer of hope, I think. I am an optimist, maybe slightly. It's probably 51-49 optimist, right? So the question is simply this week: can Arcade1up be rescued? If so, how? So there's no answer that's going to say they can't be rescued. So if they can be rescued, if it's possible, how? You got four options. Number one is going to be they have to put new games in brand new cabinets. That's the only way forward, right? You can't rehash anything. You're not going to reuse anything. New games in new cabinets. Number 2 is just reskin the deluxes. It's the same games that are already there, but just reskin them. That'll rescue them. Number 3 is new games in the same cabs. So give us new games, but just reuse the same cabs. This is going to make more sense later on in the show, trust me. And then the last option is the only way you can rescue this company, the only way they can rescue themselves, is to just ditch the 3/4 scale completely and just go with XL. Lean into XL. That's the only way forward. It's the only path forward. So those are 4 options. Let me know what you think about that. Vote. I want to see what everybody's thinking. I know what I'm thinking. I got my thoughts, but I want to see if everybody else, how it all shakes out. How do you line up? So let me know. We'll talk about that. We're going to reveal the results at the end of the show. All right. So we talked about what I'm drinking. I want to know what you're drinking. As we say hi to everybody in the chat, well, let's go ahead and take a look. Who was the number one? Who was the first one to comment on this? You know what? I'm sorry. I have one more thing. I almost forgot. Before I say hi to everybody in the chat, or most of you in the chat, there's something else I got to talk about right now. For the first time ever on this channel, I am offering memberships. Great, Fox. We want to give you more money. Okay, no, I know. I get it. But I want to give you something right off the bat. It's not just memberships and you're going to be a member to be a member. Right off the bat, starting tonight, the rewards are going to kick in. So what we're going to do is if you decide to sign up and be a member, $4.99 a month, you're going to get access to the after show, the This Week after show. Every week, we're going to have the This Week show, just like we always do, but then we're going to have a special members-only live stream directly after that. If you want to continue the conversation, if you want to talk more about what we're talking about in each and every individual show, you got to be a member. So just hit the button on the bottom, join, become a member, and you can be a part of the very exclusive. I'm sure it's going to be very exclusive. I don't think I'm going to have many members, especially tonight. There may only be just me talking to no one. But if you want to be part of the discussion, just click the join button and become a member. You will have access to at least, as long as I do a show every week, every single week we have a show, there's going to be an after show and you'll be a part of it. So click on it. If you think it's for you, check it out. And without further ado, let's say hi to the chat. Who was the number one chatter? Who was the first one to comment on the show? This one absolutely breaks all records. I know I've said this before, but I think this is probably the definitive one. Mere moments after I posted the stream, boom, first comment. And it is Beach Native 78. No surprise, always a top contender. And coming in number one, this comment was left at 10:13 a.m. Just mere moments. I don't even know if a minute went by from the time I posted it. So congratulations. Hats off to you. I salute you. What's up, Foxy in chat? I don't get why people get so mad about New Wave toys. If they don't like it, don't buy it. Can't wait for tonight's show. Hashtag 19K Fox Nation. Thank you so much for being here. Coming in a close second. Once again, this is just not even an hour later. This is like 20 minutes later. Is Gino7823. If you're ready for football and some Fox chat. Well, I hope your team won in the first game. I was pulling for Baltimore. I really was, but they couldn't get it done. I think Detroit's going to get it. So I'm going to have, as long as Detroit can get it done, I think I'm going to have a decent night. That's going to be 50-50. But hey, it is what it is. Thank you so much for being here. Carlos Sanchez, I'm sure not the first, but not the last. I'll see you guys tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for looking forward to tonight because you left that comment at 10:47 a.m. GameBroker 84. Happy Sunday, Fox. Looking forward to tonight's stream. Loved your Friday mailbag stream. Any thoughts on new Arcade1ups coming this year? New titles, possibly. It's going to be an interesting year, guys. It's going to be an interesting year from Arcade1up. The few titles that we've seen, that list, most of those aren't going to come. But you're going to find a slightly optimistic tone tonight. I don't know of anything that I'm ready to share at this moment. But I will say this. It's not going to be anything like we've seen in the past. It's going to be another slow year for sure. Gotham City, Arcade. Hey, Battle. Any new news? The community has become restless with no content to talk about or be excited about. I agree. That's why you see not so big news being heightened, elevated to a point of insanity, right? It's a fevered pitch. They're salivating. They have to have something to talk about. Will we have something to talk about tonight? Well, I always have something to talk about. Dan Z is in the house. Happy Sunday. Great to see you, buddy. And yes, Fox Football's wink, thumbs up, rock on. Moving on to Jason, Lil Alien. Hey, Fox, we missed you, buddy. I appreciate it. I was on the road. I probably should have brought my streaming stuff, but didn't think I was going to be in the mood to stream. Turns out I was right. That job was not fun. Hope you and your family are well. Always glad to see you home for at least 5 minutes. LOL, catch you in 7 hours. Thank you so much for being here, man. JJ, hey, 19K Fox, happy AFC NFC Championship Day. It's a holiday. It's an American holiday. I think New Wave could have saved themselves some backlash by telling fans at the last trade show rather than surprising us with it like they did. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Get it out there as soon as possible. Sort of, tamper down that expectation, right? Don't think they're just going to come out with some insane, crazy thing. Keep those expectations realistic. It's a good point. It's a good point for sure. Jolly Green, the giant, the gentle giant. Great to see you, man. Have a great show, Fox. Go Lions. Absolutely go Lions. And no, he's not a Voltron fan. He's a Detroit fan. I don't know. He could be a Voltron fan too. Not exactly sure. Video Game Vegas. Fox just secured my pre-order for Alien vs. Predator. I hope you got one as well. I guess the rumors were true. Finally, AVP license for the home in the U.S. My delivery says early March. AVP, baby. Apple Vision Pro. So funny. So funny. Did you really get that? That thing's like $3,000. Holy crap. Holy crap. Jonathan Bolin says, I think what Arcade1up needs to save themselves is to just release a roadmap for the year. I would be, it's scary to think that maybe, just maybe, they don't have a roadmap. A Tran Fanatic, hey Fox and people, well, the Z's front brake caliper exploded on the freeway Friday night. I got home, took another caliper off, another Z, and all good. GTP will possibly be looked at in the next 2 weeks. I hope you're okay. That sounds incredibly violent and not good. But at least you had the caliper on the other side to slow you down. That's crazy. James, you don't hate everything, but that's your name, so we're going to go with it. Only collab cabs can save. You're right. You're absolutely right. Only collaborations with random companies can save Arcade1up. They should collaborate with themselves. They should have an Arcade1up collaboration with Arcade1up and just re-release the things that they've already released. Wait, they're already doing it. That's what the Deluxes are. Those are collab cabs with themselves 2 years ago. Langs Chris, to save it insinuates they want to be saved. The removal of the previous players indicates that that's not the company they want to be. Simple SKUs, scalable to different retailers with proven sales equals Arcade1up now. Perhaps you're right. Bob, what's going on, buddy? How the hell are you? Good to see you. Hey, buddy. Much going on. I'll catch the replay. No problem. It's a hell of a football day. I get it. New games / cabs is definitely the way to go for the right price. That's the key, right? Have a great show, homie. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here or stopping by. 720 Eric says, curious to know what you did with all your countercades. Most of them are still here. I sold NBA Jam and I sold NBA Jam and I sold TMNT. I still have Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm sorry, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, the 2-player. And then I still have Mortal Kombat single player. And then I still have my Marvel vs. Capcom 3 mod. I still have those 3. I haven't found a place for them yet. I think they're not going to go away because I like them too much. I dig them. I don't know where I'm going to put them though. So I'm working on something, rearranging maybe the entryway coming in, maybe parting with one of my big projects, perhaps. But 3 out of the 6, 3 out of the 5, 6 are still here. They're still here. Jim Bean. Hey, good to see you, man. Looking forward to the show. Missed not having you on last week. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm trying to. I need to just hunker down when I go out of town. And I know I'm going to be gone over the weekend. Just bite the bullet and bring the stuff and it'll be a mobile setup. It won't be as polished. I won't have this beautiful, gorgeous, interactive background, but it'll be something, right? It'll absolutely be something. Okay, so we got AOL 101 saying, what up, Sarge? As you were. Frank D is here. Scroll down. We got PD7. What is going on, buddy? Always walking and talking, even chilling and chatting from time to time. MSU Rich, good evening, everyone. Good to see you. Scroll down. Let me see. We got Purple Purple Doge, Purple Dogie 7. Love the Friday stream. Thank you so much. I hope y'all like that. That wasn't high production value, but I just wanted to be able to say hi to everybody to kick off the weekend and then cap off the end of the weekend on Sunday like you usually do. Kind of, I'll be the bookend of your weekend, if that makes any sense. Darth Penguin 66. Okay, nice. Anybody put the Ravens? Anybody but the Ravens? Come on. Well, trust me, they took care of that for you. Don't worry about that. Marine 50. Lions looking to score again before halftime. Oh, hell yeah. I sure hope so. Man, I really hope so. You know what? Let me check the score live real quick. I know they were driving. Let's check the score real quick, and then we can get off the football talk, and we got some other stuff to talk about. Arcade1up's faux show. Let's take a look at the score. And come on. Yeah, okay. So 24-7. So the kick field goal. 24-7. You're watching this on the replay. That is the score. And it's impressive. It's impressive. Almost as impressive as the knowledge, the advice being dispensed from the Snow Dubs. Smash that like button, peeps. It's the right thing to do. Helps out the channel. Do me a solid. Smash that like button. And maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. Jason, how you doing, buddy? Taylor Swift. Bad luck. The Cowboys need to find their Taylor Swift. We did. See, this is the thing. The Cowboys did this before Kansas City, right? Remember, we had Jessica Simpson, who was dating Tony Romo. So that was a big thing. Remember, she had the pink jersey on. It was a big thing. Yeah, I didn't like it then. And okay. Well, let me back up. Jessica Simpson was way hotter than Taylor Swift is. Taylor Swift still looks like a teenage high schooler. It just not good. Not good. But yeah, her and her Swifties are going to the football or to the football. They're going to the Super Bowl. So that's great. Decadent Dave says XL or go home. I'm liking where your head's at. XL is the way. No surprise there from you. John E. Blaze. Good evening, Fox and everyone. Good to see you, man. Tammy G. Miss G. How are you? Great to see you. I'm worried for Arcade1up. They aren't even clearing out old inventory that's rotting on shelves. It's not good. Okay, we got Quentin. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Hi, all. I didn't want to butcher your last name. Sorry. Let me scroll down. Did I get everybody? I got most of you. I want to keep it rocking. We got to keep it going. Okay. Oh, we got Scaredy Cat. It's okay. We're all friends here. No need to be scared. You're fine. You sell that NBA Jam XL? Not yet. I'm working on it. I am working on it, though. I've actually got it listed locally. So if you're interested. And, for anybody who's curious, if you're in my area, I sell my stuff very reasonable. $400 for that. It's not bad. It's not bad. $400 with, it's already got the monitor swap. It's got a couple mods. It's got the lit coin door. So I don't try to rob anybody. I want to be fair to people. Rob Krasinski, how are you? Is there any news of any new Arcade1up releases? What is a Capcom Deluxe? We're going to talk about that tonight. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be informative. It's going to be entertaining, I think, for sure. We got the Nerd Jock podcast. Hey, Foxy, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. As well, Vet 99, not Army Vet, Corvette 99. Of course, you could be an Army Vet too. Who the hell knows? New games for sure. Absolutely. I think that's what we got to have. We need it. We got to have it. Gallagher Guy 88. Hey, Jason, always a gentleman and a scholar. Nice seeing you. It's like I'm chopped liver. I'm sitting right here. What's going? Good to see you, man. Glarzilla 24-7 lines up. Yes, that's what I like it. I'm so happy for Detroit. It's a shame my team couldn't be there. Mike Hawkhurts is here. Hope you are well, Fox. I am, sir. How the hell are you? I think I will be buying XL exclusively going forward outside of clearance opportunities. I see where you're at. I understand that. I get it. I see where you're coming from. I also like to see this coming when I can. It's Super Chat. It's another one. It's the first one of the night. My good brother, my good friend, Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, with a $9.99 Super Chat. Thank you so much for your $10 Super Chat. What's up, my brother? How was your weekend? Let's have a great show. Cheers, brother. Cheers indeed. Thank you so much, bud. Always appreciate it. We're appreciating the love. And the only way I know how to show you my appreciation is to throw you in the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
It's how I show affection. It's just the way that it is. Once again, listen, follow the Fox on the gram. It's what the kids say. And the kids are always right. That's what I've been told. Rafi Durant, how you doing, buddy? Evening to you. Okay, so we talked about Jay Mason, the Jay Mason. How the hell are you? Same with me. That delay. What did I miss? There we go. First, no delay so far. The Nova Blast is on schedule and shipping. Oh no! No spoilers here. I've got other stuff to talk about. So don't be jumping ahead. But I'm really happy to see you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so we talked about the poll. Vote in the poll. Let me know what you think about that. We're talking about what I'm drinking. Let me know what you're drinking. And what do you say? Let's go ahead and go into the first topic. AtGames and Unico late notice. Oh, there's delays. Even though there's people in the chat saying there's no delays. Damn it, there's delays. What delays? We'll talk about that in just a minute. We're going to talk about that in just a second. I'm glad I've piqued your interest. So we'll start with AtGames, the biggest offender, the latest offender. So this is about 3 weeks ago on Reddit. We started to see some bad news coming in way of the 4K pinball machines, issues, emails coming out, and luckily everybody's sharing this in the community. So this is a Redditor. You see the name right there. You see this is 22. I grabbed this screenshot today, so this was 3 weeks ago. Woke up to this in my inbox. Anyone else get one? Dear customer, we hope that you're excited as we are about the upcoming Addams Family pre-order. We're writing to give you a quick heads up about the potential delay that we mentioned in our December 30th. So that's the initial 30th Wave 1 update. Chinese New Year was kind of to blame on that. So this is when it all sort of started as far as official word from AtGames, right? They did, if you scroll down, they do say that if you wanted to get a refund, you could actually just reach out and get a full refund in lieu of this delay. Now, at the time, they were thinking, okay, well, this is just depending on location, it's going to be between 3 and 4 days. No big deal, right? And that was 3 weeks ago. But if you've been paying attention, this we've kind of got some bad news. It's not just from 3 weeks ago. This has been going on for quite some time. So over on Messiah's channel, off the cuff, he did a stream. It says, well, the image says 2 months ago, but this was on November 21st. And he was referencing a comment that was made. What is Arlene from the Brick talking about the potential delays way back when? Now, this is in November when they were talking about this on the AtGames 4K Facebook group, I believe. And they were saying there was going to be, you should expect a late March arrival. So shout out to Messiah for bringing that to everybody's attention. And yeah, so that was this was back months ago. This has really been sort of gloom and doom for a long time. Now, as somebody who has not gotten their 4K or really ordered the 4KP yet, really been waiting on this, I didn't jump in on the original pinball machine because I kind of was scratching that itch with Arcade1up's Attack from Mars. It was good enough. And then when I really started getting serious about maybe getting something different, maybe looking at AtGames a little harder, the rumors were, stirring about the 4K iteration coming out. I'm like, well, I'll just wait for that. And what they've come out with so far, I've told you this before, it's really just nothing that I'm dying to get my hands on. And when you're talking about $1,100, $1,200, depending on when you jump in on the pre-order, or if you wait, it's like $1,500. It's got to be something that I'm really going to want in my arcade room. It's really got to be something that's got a specific look, something I'm digging for sure. And it just and I haven't seen anything that I've really just been dying to get my hands on. Is that now working to my advantage? Is it a huge benefit? Because I think that it definitely, there's a lot of, we talk about FOMO a lot, right? Fear of missing out being the thing that drives you to make a purchase. And while some of these are, a couple $100 is one thing, right? That can be considered an impulse buy depending on your income level. I mean, everybody's a little bit different, right? I get that. But when you're talking about $1,200 or $1,300, the FOMO has to be off the scale for me to jump in and buy in. And since there is no Back to the Future pinball table, I was like, okay, well, this is kind of an easy thing to kind of not go for. I'm thinking now this is really, really, really a good thing, because with all these delays, remember, we were supposed to get this like Christmas Day, right? If you were original, if you jumped in first, you were supposed to get your Addams Family Collector's Edition Christmas Day, right? Or, there shortly thereafter, before January, where here we are We're well into January, damn near February, and most people haven't even got theirs yet. But the story continues. So this was 4 days ago on the AtGames Facebook page. This is just their page, right? They posted this info regarding the Addams Family AtGames Wave 1 reservation purchase. Your Legends Pinball 4K. There seems to be some confusion with a few things, and we hope this will clear that up. There's definitely been a lot of confusion because the way that it works, at least this is my understanding, is that you pay your down payment, your $200, right? Your non-refundable portion. And then that you get your place in line, and then they eventually once they get everything lined up and it makes it to the American shores, it makes it to the port, they hit you up for the rest of the money. You pay the money, and then you get your tracking numbers and all that information, and away you go. There's a lot of people that aren't really getting that, even though they jumped in really early. So this is going to explain a little bit of that. So regarding emails being sent out to complete purchase, remember, this is 4 days ago. This was a screenshot was taken today. If you order between 9/22, which was the first day, 9/22 and 9/25, you are wave 1. Okay, great. You're wave 1, right? No problem. We are sending these emails in batches. So if you're in wave 1, which is a window of 3 days, they're going to be sending those emails out in batches to ensure order accuracy and the best possible customer experience. So just because you order within that 3-day window doesn't mean you're in wave 1, but you're not getting your email right away. They're not sending the email to everybody in wave 1 at one time. It's coming out in batches. It seems a little bit odd, right? It seems a little bit weird. So therefore, you may not receive an email just yet. You should expect to see, and remember, this is 4 days ago. And last I checked, today is the 28th. So on the 24th, so what is that? 10, 11, 12, 4 months later, even though you pre-ordered within the first 3 days and you are technically wave 1, you still may not be getting your email saying, hey, pay us the rest of the money. That to me is just absolutely insane. Almost as insane as Jason gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Jason. That's completely unnecessary, but I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to have some people in that live, that members only exclusive live after the show, the after party, for sure. So therefore, you may not be receiving an email just yet. You should expect to see an email when with your place in line is reached. So who knows how long it's taking them to get these emails out in batches. Once again, remember, this is wave 1. This is 3 days worth, or 4 days, depending on how you count this, of pre-orders, and they're chopping that up. So the message continues. Plan on receiving your order completion email to hit your inbox in the next day or 2. If it is not yet, you should be finalizing the details and completing payment on your device very soon. And then this dropped today. The same thing on the AtGames Facebook group. They took pictures of the port, I guess, in California, letting you know, hey, AtGames fans, this was like I said, I grabbed this screenshot today. AtGames fans, great news. The Legends Pinball 4K the Addams Family Standard Edition has arrived. Machines continue to arrive at the Los Angeles port and are being processed by FedEx for U.S. shipping. Weather on the port was an initial concern, but we are happy to report that it has not delayed shipping when you start to receive your Legends Pinball 4K the Addams Family Standard Edition. Post some pictures and tag and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the Standard Edition has made it. But what about all the people that have their collectors? Well, I'm assuming those are going to be in this wave 1 they're talking about, and those emails are coming out in batches, and there's no way of knowing where your place is in line until you get your email. But no, I'm sorry. No, wait. They know where your place is in line, and then they'll send you an email, but you don't know where your place is in line. So you have no idea when you're going to be getting your emails. Now, if they hold true, this was 4 days ago, so everyone should have gotten their emails, right? But once again, as of, a few days ago, I mean, we're talking about 4 months after you initially put your pre-order in. So it's kind of crazy, kind of confusing. And the fact that standard editions are now here before some people are getting their collector's editions is kind of nuts. That's kind of crazy. So what does that mean? Well, like we talked about at the top of the show, because there's nothing going on, nobody's releasing anything, all these little issues are going to be highlighted. Magnifying glasses are going to be put on, like when you used to burn ants as a kid and you would get the magnifying glass outside and laser beam and burn. It's not so much by itself, but in concentration, it's deadly. Just ask the ants. So I think that this potentially puts a black eye on AtGames, maybe more of a bruise, maybe it's just a scuff. And as long as they can get this processed quickly, then everything will be fine. But there's also complications with people that also ordered the surround sound kit that has kicked people out of the place in line, and it's all just kind of funky. And then the way that they did the pre-order, some people wanted to get out of their Addams family and switch over and get like the Peanuts table, and that was too that just didn't work out for them. They refused, or they could, but they were going to lose their $200 deposit. It was crazy. So once again, FOMO should be resisted at all costs. All costs. Because I'm sitting here thinking, well, because I've waited and because they didn't come out with something I just had to have, I'm saving myself, I think, a lot of pain and aggravation. And I think if you waited, you were probably pretty smart too to do the same thing and just wait. Just sit back and just see what happens. So FOMO, resist it at all costs. Take your time, back up, and take a deep breath, especially when you're talking about a lot of money, over $1,000. And I think you're gonna thank yourself later. Other delays. I don't know if this is technically Unico. This is a delay, not of the Nova Blast, but I got this email today, or not today, but I got this on the 24th. So 4 days ago, I received this email because I pre-ordered the little MVSX, the little MVS Mini, the little MVS Mini. That is the first Neo Geo Mini I've purchased because all the other ones looked great, but they didn't have that MVS color and layout, the one that I wanted. Now the button location, it's all still the same, but I wanted that red and white color scheme. This one has it. I had to have it. I jumped on it and ordered it as soon as it was available. And yep, there you go. See, you're in the clear. You're in the clear. But yeah, I want to know everything I can about that Nova Blast. But yeah, so this was another potential delay. I would imagine this is also going to be tied into the Chinese New Year. But this is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, saying, hey, listen, it is with regret that we inform you that a delay in shipping of the first batch of the MVSX, first batch, right? FOMO got to me. But it's not that big a deal. It's not the end of the world. I think it was $80. I got the one without the controller. For the MVSX Minis, or the MVS Minis, currently in transit to our main warehouse in the United States. Consequently, we must convey our deepest apologies. Very apologetic, this email. I'm happy with it. As our orders are not anticipated to dispatch until February 10th. Not the end of the world, but it is a delay. And it lends a little more credence to the whole Chinese New Year excuse that AtGames was claiming. Other companies are obviously being affected by this too. And, it also kind of sucks because, I think Super Gamer Dudes talked about this too. Other companies that ship from there, ship from China, will take priority. I saw a email or a Facebook message where AtGames said that even though they actually pay for a priority spot, or they pay for priority shipping, they still got bumped. So it is what it is. I think this is also a reason why we maybe shouldn't rely so much on China. I mean, I know they have cheap manufacturing over there, and I know that's tough to compete with here in the States, but if we can keep a lot of the manufacturing in the States, you don't have to worry about this. And it's not just China. It's also wars going on that could divert shipping container ships, and trade routes get interrupted and all that stuff. And it's crazy. So I guess this is my way of saying bring manufacturing back, and we should be making this stuff in America. That would be great. But that's just my 2 cents. So anyway, delays, not the end of the world. It is frustrating, especially when there's nothing else being announced or nothing else to really look forward to as far as big announcements from other companies. I think the last thing out there really is, Unico's Nova Blast. And man, that thing, you better not be late, because if you are, I'm going to blow you up right here. But I'm still going to be patiently waiting. Moving on to New Wave Backlash. Wow. This took a turn for the worst. Once again, I think this is probably a victim of the lack of news, the lack of releases from everybody out there. It really is. We kind of had that AtGames wave. We had the Unico Nova Blast kind of contributing to that wave. It's like, hey, there's stuff to talk about. And then like this lull. It's just like, I don't know. Is there nothing else going on? So once again, this is going to be magnified. And I think it hit at the exact wrong time. Because, man, for once, New Wave couldn't really deliver what they had delivered in the past. So what am I talking about? So this, if you're living under a rock, if you're in this community, you know what New Wave Toys is all about. 1/6 scale arcade games that are playable. They tease the Replicade mini pins, mini pinball machines. Everybody was like, what? Including me, freaking out. Like, this is great. This is amazing. Finally, we're going to have something else besides, as far as games, right? Something else besides the arcade games, which the arcade games are great. But something else to change it up. Somebody made I was watching Glenn's live stream where they had Shiloh on. Somebody, we were all making, suggestions, make this, make that. The one thing I really loved, the one suggestion I was digging was a 1/6 scale pool table. I have a spot in my little diorama. I know everybody's, bagging on the dioramas, but I have a little spot over here, my diorama, where a pool table would be outstanding. And then if you could have a pool table light, you would have to probably have a post, that would support it from, because you couldn't really hang it from the ceiling, right? But it would have to be supported from up underneath, actually go through the pinball, the pool table or whatever. But I think that would be really sick. So you have your Coke machine, you got your change machine, you're going to have your little cigarette machine, you're going to have your pool table. That'd be insane. That'd be awesome. And then, of course, pinball machines are exactly another way to kind of really just set off your collection of miniature arcade stuff. So the mini pins are announced. And then it comes out and it's a black hole and it's announced and here it is. And then, wow, all the features except for one, not playable. So it wasn't playable. I made a quick little video. I was on the road, but I made a quick little video saying, hey, listen, come on, guys. It's fine. I mean, don't like it. Sure. I understand that. Yeah. You're feeling disappointed. I hear you. I feel you. But I mean, don't freak out about this. Don't lose your mind. Come on, it's fine. And everybody started, not everybody, but some people got upset. Some people started bashing this, bashing that, and all this, and it's just getting crazy. And I'm like, well, what's the big deal? Come on, relax. It's just one thing. I don't even play mine. It is what it is. Come on, relax. And then New Wave Toys said, you know what? Let's put their mind at ease. Let's show them that in some way it is actually playable-ish, right? There's a feature. It actually has pinball action, ball action. And I said, great. And then this is what they showed us. So that didn't help. Oh, God. What should they have done? They should have not done that. I just, man, I don't know. I think that it would have been better not to do that at all, to even have that at all. I mean, it's better not to have that than to have that. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just, yeah, shut up and take my money. I know. So yeah, that didn't help. I think that if it's to just pull it back and to see the ball go is something, and it kind of, you shoot yourself in the foot a little bit, because that sort of drives the point home to where, well, you could have made it playable. And I've seen comments saying, well, listen, if you could do that and just have it kind of go up and curve around and then just drain, it just, you can't really hit it. The flippers don't work, but at least it goes up and goes into the hole, right? That would be something. But then you'd have the issue of the ball return. So maybe you could have done it to where there's another channel and it just goes around and at least it would enter the play field. But even that would have disappointed some people, because there's always going to be, well, then why didn't you just, if you could do that, why don't you just make the flippers work? And I don't disagree with all that. So I think it's one of those things where you probably should have just done nothing. Like I think you have the plunger, you can pull that back and that's fine. But I don't even think that you should have had a ball in the playfield whatsoever. And if it's just going to have that single travel, it's probably not something you should have even done, because I think there's a lot of other stuff going on with this pinball machine, this miniature pinball machine, that is good. That is dope. There's little OLED displays in this, guys. It has a full attract mode. It has simulated 4-player. So, I mean, like, if you're going to set yours up, and let's just be honest, you're not going to play it that much. I mean, I know some people say that the big thing about their new wave toys is that they're playable, and that's cute as a novelty. It is. But what do you tell me how many hours you've logged on your new wave toys video machines, your arcade machines? Tell me all the hours you've logged. How many times have you gone through and played Cubert? How many levels have you beaten on your Cubert new wave toys machine? And maybe there's some people out there that dig it. Like, I sold my full-size Cubert because I got and I just play this all the time. Okay, to each his own. But I think the majority of people probably dig the fact that it is playable, but then they put it up and it's really just meant for display. It just really is. So to each his own. I think that it's not that big of a deal to get upset about. People that are saying, "Oh, it's just a stupid paperweight." Well, that's not accurate. I understand. Whoa, what the? Hold on, just 1 second. What are you doing? What is going on? That's just, don't worry about it. It's fine. Sorry about that. That was Cruising World. It wanted to cruise the world. Sorry. So I think it is what it is. I think if you really legit play yours and you're disappointed, well, you should be disappointed. That's fine. I get it. But there's a lot of features built into this, and it's unfair to call it just a paperweight. It's much more than a paperweight, but it is just a glorified display. And for those people like me that have dioramas, I think it's going to be an excellent addition. Moving on to the last topic for tonight. Oh, let me take a drink. We're talking about Arcade1up, kids. Is there anything new coming from Arcade1up? Anything new? Anything new? I don't know. I really don't know. I've heard only a few murmurs, only a few things. And if you hang out with me, if you come on over to the members only, you become a member, head on over to the members only. I'll tell you about the one. I've heard one rumor from a reliable source, and it might be accurate. Will it be the most disappointing thing you've ever heard in your life? Possibly. So I'll save that for the members block. If you want to hear about that and other stuff, click the join button, become a member, and hang out with us on the after show. But I wanted to talk about something. I wanted to back up me personally from the Arcade1up hate that I've been just laying down, right? I've been giving them lashings. It's been horrible. It's been sad. It's been frustrating for Arcade1up, not for me, because I've been having a good time. Because sometimes it's the best way, it's the only way to just kind of get through, to work out some of your frustrations, to sort of just get it out, lash out. And so you dispense with the verbal justice, the verbal lashings. And Arcade1up, I think for the most part, has deserved everything that I've given them because I've been fairly fair. And I've been generous with my suggestions on how they can improve. Almost as generous as this super chat for $4.99. Huge success, Gil. Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat, buddy. Hey, Fox, I am late, but here. Side note, my Legends 4KP showed up today. Yes, it is amazing. I love it. Way better than the Arcade1up pins. Cheers. I sure as hell hope so because it costs more and it looks pretty damn good. I'm curious. Let me know in the comments section. Is it the Addams Family Standard Edition or the Collector's Edition? Let me know and I'll try to find that comment and read it. Thank you so much again for your super chat, buddy. Always appreciated. Here you go.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
So looking for that comment. Haven't seen it quite yet. So anyway, along those lines, I thought I would try to be positive tonight. I thought it would be a good idea to maybe take something I thought was a negative and flip it around, turn it on its head. Is it possible that maybe I've been looking at something completely different, completely wrong? It's just the opposite of the way that I should be looking at it. And I'm talking about the fact that this is your current deluxe lineup, and it's also last year's lineup. And we haven't heard anything new from Arcade1up. And I know that's a bad thing, right? That's bad. That's horrible. It's bad. Usually CES, January, we hear about the new lineup. And we haven't. We don't know. We don't know anything. All we know is what we have. This is what we have. I'm including Atari in here for a reason. I know this is technically a collab cab, but I'm just bear with me. Bear with me. B, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I appreciate the mini pinball plunger detail. It's a toy first, and those little details matter to toy collectors. I would take the plunger without the ball, but it is what it is. But I agree with you. This is a toy. This is a display. So I'm not mad at it at all in any way. But moving on. So we've talked about this at length. This is what we have for Deluxes. There's no new announcements, and that's horrible and it's bad. But correct. But bear with me. This is what we have. We have no new legacies. Remember the legacies. The legacies started with that first horrible design with the wings, and then the recessed control panel was really, really bad. It was not good. Okay. Then they changed it up. They went with a better design, a much better design, but a bad screen. Then they changed it up again, and now we have the Deluxes, which is where we are now, which some would say, I think in my opinion, this is probably the pinnacle of the legacies. But we used to, for 3 years, we got new legacies. Except for this year. Is that a bad thing? Now, I know the Vault, the collab cab, I know the Atari, I know, just like I said, bear with me. Is this a bad thing? Now, if you've seen my latest video, one of my latest videos, I took a Capcom Deluxe, and it really wasn't a Capcom Deluxe for long. It very quickly became an Alien vs. Predator cabinet. And it really didn't take much effort at all. In fact, this is all that it took. It really just took a new marquee, a new bezel, and then 2 pieces of side art to slap it on there. Because this Capcom Deluxe cabinet, made in this shape, in the inspiration of the Dynamos from back in the day, that's how these cabinets were designed. They got to the point where there was no crazy elaborate side art, or the cabinet shape wasn't wild and awkward for each individual game. It was pretty much the same cabinet with just a small sticker package. The big thing was the marquee, right? Most of the control panels were either the diamond plate, the Capcom diamond plate, or the diamond, or the Capcom graphite, right? That's just all it was. And then you had a marquee that was unique, but that was pretty much it. The game and the marquee, you pretty much just swap those out, put those out, and away to go. Same basic cabinet shape and design. So I got to thinking about this. Okay, well, there's no new cabinets, there's no new games, there's no new releases. They're sticking with this design. In some way, this is some of the advice that I've given them before. I've given some of this in the past. Think about it. Where's most of their cost? It's got to be in these cabinets. Every time they radically change the cabinet shape, the style. I mean, we've had risers, we've had no risers. From Legacy 1 to Legacy 2, radical departure, radical change. They kind of got on track. They had the Mortal Kombat Midway shape, and they used that for the Capcoms also. Same shape, different decals. So I thought that, okay, well, that was going to be the track that they were on. And it made some sense for me financially, because you keep the same cabinet shape, you're cutting down on a lot of your costs. You don't have to retool your production lines every single time you want to make a certain cabinet. And then they changed them again, and they had to go with they decided to go with the Deluxes, and that's fine. And I get that. Eliminate the risers altogether. Okay, cool, that's fine. But they didn't do it this year. Now, we think that it's because there's nothing new. There's no new releases. It sucks. Everything's bad. House is on fire. It's all burning down. And these are all possible. It's all possible, right? But what if they're actually doing something smart? I know it's crazy. You got to drink, okay? Just to think about that possibility. What if they're doing something smart? What if they're going to stick with these designs? Now, you know that the Pac-Man is also the Miss Pac-Man and the Class of 81 and all that. Same exact shape, just different stickers, right? Swap out the ROMs on the PCB and away you go. But it's the same cabinet. Now, you got the Atari 50th. The Atari 50th could become an Asteroids. It could become other cabinets. You could reskin that to a traditional cabinet. It's got that overall shape of the Asteroids, I believe. So you could stick with that shape for your Atari games. So you have your Atari cabinet. You have your Namco Pac-Man cabinet. You have your Midway style cabinet. And you finally have something that is separate, that's different for Capcom. Think about it. There's never been anything uniquely Capcom. They kind of went to, it's funny, for all the hate that we give them as far as their love that they give Mortal Kombat, Midway cabinet actually got a lot of love early on in those second generation legacies. Now you have something that's distinctly Capcom. So what if they just keep this style? Keep this style. Keep those 4 body styles and just put different games in them. Now, you see how easy this was to pull off this look. Let me do this. To pull off this look, all you need to do is that. So you tool up. It's exactly the same form factor. It's exactly the same everything. The marquees are exactly the same size and all that. It's assembled exactly the same way, except you swap out the marquee. You have a different bezel graphic. You have small side art that you stick on the side. What I mean, listen, cut down on all this unnecessary cost to retool and to reshape over and over and over again. I want commitment from Arcade1up. So if Deluxe is what you want to do, I would prefer you do all XLs. But if you want to have Deluxe and then some XLs, if you want Deluxe to be your main line, then this should be your form factor. This should be your cabinets moving forward. No new shapes. New games? Sure. And there's a bunch of different ways you can do this, right? You could just, for them internally, all they would have to do is this, right? Just art packages. This could also be something that they offer to sell to customers. So if you have your Capcom legacy, for example, and I think that they could, this is going to be a little more difficult to do with Mortal Kombat because there's a whole side art thing going on there. But for your Capcom legacy, you could just do, let's say, okay, I really wish this was a Final Fight cabinet. Okay, no problem. Sell this package. For $150 or whatever the cost is, you can get this package. And we don't have to make a new cabinet, but if you want the option, you can do it. I mean, if you really want to get generic, they could just completely eliminate the bezel altogether and just have like a black bezel. Look at your Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinets. The bezel is just solid black. So you could have a black bezel on these cabinets, keep the the control panel the way that it is. Okay. And then all a customer has to do is not even worry about the bezel. They just get a marquee and then side art. And that's it. And you could sell that on your website. And you could do that for every game that comes stock in the Capcom Deluxe cabinet. So if I wanted a Puzzle Fighter cabinet, if I wanted a Final Fight cabinet, if I wanted a different Street Fighter, I mean, whatever's on there, I could just swap that out. And because I'm not having to do anything else, there's no software mods or changes or anything. I'm just swapping it to match one of the other games on this that I favor versus Street Fighter. And then that way, listen, you can satisfy everybody, just offer different packages for the games. For the games that are actually on it. That's it. And you can do the same thing with Mortal Kombat. Now, Mortal Kombat could be a little bit more different. You may have to go with a plain side instead of having artwork across on the whole thing, but you could still do the same thing. You would offer the same thing, offer graphical packages. Now, I know this is sort of reskinning Deluxes, and not everybody's a fan of that, and I agree. So let's not reskin them then. Offer these kits for people that want them, fine, but don't reskin them. But use the same cabinet design to bring out new games. Don't radically reinvent the wheel here. I think that's where they've kind of gotten lost in the weeds. But I think they were chasing the perfect form factor. They've probably got it. It's close enough. On the 3/4 scale, I think this is probably good enough. I think it's good enough. Nobody's mad at the size anymore except the Riser fans. And they have something to complain about. I get it. But here you go. Here's what you do. Same exact cabinet shape. Let's start with Capcom. And bring us something new. Who is going to get mad at a Street Fighter Alpha anthology cabinet? You have the 3 Street Fighter Alphas, throw in Gym Fighter, not Puzzle Fighter, Gym Fighter. This is an anthology disc that came out for PS2 back in the day. Take this games list and put it in this cabinet. Are you going to be mad because the cabinet shape is different? It's the same cabinet shape. Okay. Are you going to be happy about the new games? What's more important to you? Remember the compromise machines? Everything is a compromise. So are you going to be upset that it's exactly the same cabinet as the Capcom Deluxe, or you're going to be happy that you're getting the new games. Listen, if you want to go all the way back to the arcades back in the day, that's what they did. They had similar form factors, they had similar cabinets, but they just put different games in it. That's it. That's it. So give me the same. So don't reinvent the wheel here, Arcade1up. You got this. You got the size. You got the shape. You got this. It's fine. It's fine. Stay with this. Don't, just because you come out with a new game doesn't mean you got to radically change the cabinet. That doesn't make any sense. That's unnecessary cost. And think about it. Why do you think they're so nervous about coming out with a new game? Because in their minds, they think they have to build a whole new cabinet. And so that's why Alien vs. Predator is not going to come out, because they think they have to radically make a brand new cabinet just for that game. They don't have to. I'm proving it right now. Alien vs. Predator can be done like this. Now, I want the 3-player, but, you know, I just can't. The 3-player is just probably not going to happen. But you could do it with a 2-player. Give me a 2-player version. Everything will be fine. And you could do it for no money. Not no money, but it would be minimal. It would be absolutely minimal. I would be happy that I'm getting the game. Yeah, it'd be nice if the cabinet was a little different, but you think I'm not going to buy it? If we care about the games, which is what we always say, then that I think is going to be paramount, and that's going to be way more valuable than the cabinet shape itself. I just don't think that's going to be a big deal. And along those same lines, who's going to get mad? Who's going to get upset? You know, if they don't have, here it is. If they don't have, if they have the same Capcom shape, that same Dynamo shape, but it has these games in it. A Capcom, a CPS3 games list with Street Fighter 3. And then give me Red Earth, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It was a short games list, but it was CPS 3. Street Fighter 3. Oh, but I don't like it because it's the same. Really? Because it's the same cabinet? You got the different games. So I think let's remove something. Let's remove a roadblock from Arcade1up. A lot of these games that we're asking for don't need a new cabinet. So maybe, just maybe, they're doing something smart. They're using their brains. They're thinking real good. And maybe, just maybe, we've been misreading some of the tea leaves, thinking negative when this is really kind of a positive if they do it the right way. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to come up with a brand new shell, but put new games in the same shell. Save yourself some money, minimize the artwork. You don't have to go crazy, and just give us new games. We're going to talk about the poll results in just a minute, but I think that's going to be the majority of people are going to want new games. And for me, being that these are compromised machines anyway, we were never super mad about the cabinet shape of those Gen 1 cabinets. Yeah, we wanted something a little more accurate. We wanted lit marquees and all that. But the overall shape of the cabinet was something we were kind of happy to see go by the wayside. But I still have my Turtles cabinet here. The old shark fin Generation 3. It doesn't stand out. I still dig it. I mean, yeah, if you could change the shape, that'd be great. But like when they came out with the Turtles in Time cabinet, the shape was ugly. And so was the artwork. So I didn't get it. I stuck with this one. I don't think anybody's going to be upset if you have the same physical cabinets next year or this year. But you could really save yourself a lot of money, and we could keep us happy if you give us new games inside the same cabinet. So maybe that's what they're doing, and we've got it all wrong. Stick with the same cabinets, but put new games in them. Slightly different artwork. I think it's possible. Now, can that actually save Arcade1up? I'm not exactly sure, but that's going to be up for, I guess us to decide as consumers. Like, how are we going to spend our money? Like this money, this super chat, $4.99. Vic Vicious 75. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. I really do appreciate it. I love the idea. I already swapped my X-Men versus Street Fighter PCB with the Dynamo. Now all my Marvel versus cabs will be in Dynamos. Exactly. See, there you go. Swap it out and put it in the Dynamo. I mean, I think it's a better shape anyway. And it's, I would prefer an XL, but as far as these 3/4 go, I'm digging it. I'm absolutely digging it. Thank you so much for your super chat, brother. Always appreciated. Got to give you something a little bit special, and here you go. So is it possible? Is it absolutely possible that maybe, just maybe, they're onto something? Maybe they're a little bit smarter than we give them credit for. I don't know. Now, is that going to save Arcade1up? Like I said, that's also unknown. But the compromised machines that these cabinets are, I think, are going to be always more reliant on the software instead of the hardware. Would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Unfortunately, it is that time. I got to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But before we do, I got to remind you about the memberships that are currently available now. And if you are a member, at 9:15, we're going to start a members-only live stream. It's going to be the after show. We're going to talk about this stuff or really whatever you want to talk about. Oh, yeah, and I'm going to bring up that one thing I heard about that one Arcade1up cabinet that might be coming up. But before I let you go, we got to talk about the poll question. Every week we have the poll. It has a question in it. Let's talk about it. So, the question was simply this: can Arcade1up be rescued? If so, how? I gave you 4 different options, 4 different things to consider. Okay, so they were, I'll give you a couple seconds to vote. 175 votes, not bad. I'm competing with football. I get that. I understand. So your 4 options were: I want new games and new cabs. I want deluxe reskins. I want new games in the same cabinets. That's going to rescue them. Or no more 3/4. Only XL. Let's go ahead and end the poll right now. 176 votes. Not too shabby, guys. Coming in last place is Deluxe Reskins. Nobody's into that. I'm curious. I should have said, well, I wonder if, would you be interested in the kits? Would the kits be something? Maybe that's not going to rescue it, but would make something a little more customizable. So that's last place with only 7% of the votes. Coming in third place is new games in the same cabs, which is actually what I would have voted for because it reduces their overhead, but it gives us a new game. So I think that is a compromise that I think they could actually push forward and maybe, like I said, reduce some of that overhead. Deluxes are already a smaller box to ship. We'd have a better chance of seeing these in stores, and they would just have different games in them. So that's where I would have voted, but it came in pretty close, almost dead last with only 8%. So that means the number one, what is it going to be? It's actually new games and new cabs. That's what you want. 67% of you say, I want a new game in a new cab. And that may be what they have to do to earn our respect and to maybe even save themselves. But coming in, well, no, this is a pretty distant second, was no more XLs. No more 3/4 XL only. That's what you're saying. So thank you so much for voting in the poll. And thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, super chatting, all that, becoming members. I had a ton of people become members tonight. That is incredible. And that means I'm going to have somebody to talk to on the other live stream. So anyway, guys, I'm sure, yeah, it's looking like the Lions are going to take the 49ers to the woodshed and beat them. And I'm going to be pretty happy about that. I'm going to rub that in some people's faces. But then being a Cowboys fan, I can only take that so far. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see the members a little bit later. If you want to continue the conversation, become a member. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. Check out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day. And I will see all of you next time. Peace.